let's switch gears a little bit, and I would like to focus on you. It sounds like you are juggling quite a lot between the foundation, ecosystem impact, āluān, and how do you balance that and also being, I'm sure what's very important to you, a mother? That's a big question in our field, and it's one that I've like mulled over my head too, and I ask every single person that comes on, how do you be a parent and also work on these very strong passions that you have and bring them forward? Both.
Yeah, I don't actually have a simple answer to that. And every day is different. Life's definitely changed since being a mother, and being a mom comes first to me. So, how it has looked for me is that I have had times where I've stepped out. I've managed to pull myself out of the essential day-to-day operations at times. And we actually homeschool our children. So most mornings I'm with them. That hasn't always been the case. In the early years, I was really focused on the business. I was away from them a lot. And I really saw that that was starting to impact our family and our children. So around about 3 years ago, I managed to transition out of the operations. And that was very challenging. So much of who I thought I was um, and my value in the world was tied to the work that I did. And looking back now, that seems ridiculous, but it was really genuinely a struggle at the time. There's something in me that needed to let go of the work and really, really focus on my children. The children were always my priority, but I wasn't dedicating the time and the relaxed energy and just really holding space for being a mother and what they needed. And the family was at times a bit chaotic. And there wasn't really the peace on a day-to-day basis that was important for me. So I made the decision to step out, to focus on them. And it's really calmed the family. Homeschooling is the most incredible thing. And I would have never, ever, ever thought that was something that I would do. And interestingly, kind of 18 months later, as things have settled, space has opened up and I'm able to come back and be involved in a different way in the company, to come in perhaps from more of a bird's eye perspective. And I just would really recommend that to anybody. Yeah, it's been a real learning experience.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that's incredible. I'm also a very passion workaholic, really. And so to hear that, I know how you say it's ridiculous that you had to make that decision, but I can completely empathize. If I was in your shoes, I don't even know how I would have handled that too. Like giving up this work that I'm sure you felt was one of the main callings in your life. So to give that up to become a mother, or like to, you already were a mother, but you know what I mean, to give more of your focus to your children, which again, I get it. I get it. You're just, it just, I don't know, because as I'm looking at my future life, I've had a lot of life shakeups, we'll call them, in recent months, and I'm like, what do I even want in the future? And to hear something like that, it's like, okay, do I actually want children one day, and how will I fit that in? Which I know, again, just like you said, that's not the way to look at that, but that's a real question of mine.
And yeah, I mean, I can't really even believe I'm sat. Like, I mean, even that we're having this conversation, right,
Right.
is strange, but it's true. And this whole, the way that our world has built up, what it means to be of value in this world is that as women, we're participating in meaningful work outside of the home. And as I said, like, I'm almost embarrassed to say that, how hard it was to like pull myself out from the business, from the foundation, from my work, and be a mom. If I look back now, I can't even believe that that would have been something that was difficult, because of this incredible experience that I've had from being an almost full-time mom and from homeschooling the children and just being with them day in and day out. And I have loved it. I have adored just like sitting with them and doing their learning and being with them and not having distractions, and just being able to go with the flow of the day, being relaxed in my nervous system, I think this is really what it is. Being relaxed in my nervous system allows them to be relaxed in their nervous system, allows our family to be relaxed in the nervous system of the family, and then the work that we can do in the world can be relaxed as well. And I think that the whole world, our nervous systems are just like totally hyper. And I really, really think that the transformation, the work that we do for our planet is to connect in with the energy of our planet, that relaxed, grounded, nurturing energy of our Earth Mother, who really is our mother. She holds us, and if we can tap into her energy field, which is not this like uptight nervous system, but one that does hold itself in the energy of the earth and is relaxed. I don't know. It's been transformative in so many ways, and just to have a relaxed nervous system and to bring that to your family it's changed everything.
I feel like I need to just come live with you for a while and like learn how to get this energy. I mean, I didn't even expect to go down this path, but that is something that I've been struggling with a lot. And just like I mentioned before too, you know, having some really big life shakeups in my personal life and having to work through those and still keeping these other things that I love so much going. And then you're like, what's enough? That's honestly a question that I haven't been able to answer. What's enough? Like, I have this show, you know, I have my full-time job, which is going great. Like, I'm starting to lead trips around the world, and yet it still doesn't feel like enough. And, you know, to be completely transparent, I went through a divorce recently from something that was very not good. Like, it was a very traumatic experience, and it wasn't a normal reason that I think a lot of people talk about, which we don't have to get into all of that, but I really haven't even let myself heal. And I've almost been diving so much into this work almost as like a cover up, I guess, or like a way to, like, if I focus all of my attention on the work and the stuff that I'm passionate about, then everything else will maybe hopefully figure itself out. And so I've been trying to work through that myself. And so to hear you, it sounds like the circumstance that you went through was a little different, but maybe the feelings were very similar, and you had to choose, you know, putting the work not necessarily aside, but changing your role with the work to become the family member and the happiness that you were actually looking for. Wow. This is deep. It's a deep chain right now.
I don't have an answer, but I mean, yeah, life was really falling apart. And I actually think that's part of our process. This old part of ourselves needs to break down for this new to emerge, and that's messy. And we started a foundation and a company at the same time as having children, and we live on this remote island, and it wasn't easy. We've broken and broken and broken and broken over and over again. And so I don't want people to have this image that, like, you know, you're running a company and there's this like facade of what it's like. Like, it is hard. I've talked about having a calm nervous system, and yes, I've invested in that by doing nothing, but like, it's like dying and coming back again. And I'm not a perfect person, and, you know, I scream at my children and I get angry, and there's challenges on a daily basis. But it has investing in more of that, which really has made the difference. And for me, it was being a mum, prioritizing that time with the children, which we don't do, and which as women these days, it's overdone that women are expected to do everything, da-di-da-di-da-da. But I don't know if women are spending enough time with their children. And sometimes it's fine. For my family, it wasn't. And I saw it in my children that there were starting to be challenges. And, you know, I really think that my child, my son in particular, was perhaps going down the like ADHD medication path. And that without bringing him back into the home and into my arms, it would have been a very different trajectory. Of course, I don't know, but it was just, yeah, being the mum, bringing the children back close to me and just resting in that for as long as was needed for us to calm. And it's really starting to happen that now everybody's like going out into the world again and people are settled and there's this really strong, rested foundation. And men can play that role, women can play that role, but there is that nurturing, mothering role that I think many of us have lost as women. And I didn't realize that I didn't have that or wasn't in touch with that and how rewarding and beautiful that could be and that is. I'm starting to step back into the work a bit more now, and I love it. I adore it. And there's this aspect of myself that's like passionate and on fire and so excited and goes off on it. But I also do really miss those soft days at home, and I would give everything up to be with children and prioritize them if they need it, and if things were on balance becoming unsettled again. And that's a constant dance, and it's something that we kind of keep an eye on a daily basis. But it isn't an easy one, and they don't have any easy answers. So yeah, thank you for for sharing like your experience and your story. It is interesting. We want to put more in, right? But sometimes we just need to pull out and make space for whatever we need to process, for our emotions and for the healing that needs to happen in so many ways. And I see the work that I did before I had children and before I was pushed through these challenges to really process a lot of emotions. And I see how I come to it with a different perspective now. And I'm sure I will continue to evolve and change, but I believe that the conservation work needs us to be calm, for us to really be on the same level of our Mother Earth and to be able to speak her language and hear what she has to say and to, I don't know, walk hand in hand with her. I don't know.
Yeah, I you're formulating so many of my feelings recently. Like as I've again watched things in my own personal life that went the way they did, and I absolutely love this women empowerment movement that's been happening. It has been great for women to have more voice, to have more freedom to do what they want. But at the same time, I feel like there's been a cost. I think there's been a cost to families. I've also seen firsthand, I think there's been a lot of cost to men in a lot of ways. And I think a lot of men have been kind of neutered. They don't have the same role anymore. A lot of them don't feel like they have the same just like power or gift to the household, like to be the supplier of the family, to be the one that really drives the family and like supports the family. And like you said, there's so many broken homes anymore. There's so many divorces. I am a divorce myself. And I just wonder how much of this has been a lot of the social things that have happened recently. Again, there's been a lot of good, but I feel like there needs to be more balance, you know? I see so much bad talk online about men and so many things. And I'm just like, some of the most important people of my life are men, you know? Like, I wouldn't be where I am without them. Like, can we please stop bashing 50% of the people? Like, I think it's part of that. And then also too, I also think that I personally know so many women I think that would love to be home with their kids, but they don't feel like they can. They've boss babed too hard, and now they're like high up in these companies or, you know, have all these responsibilities. And I really do think they just want to be home and be a mommy. And I don't think they feel like they can. So your story is very inspirational in that sense, you know, where like your partner is truly your partner. Like he is doing this all alongside you. And also you were able to have the space and the freedom to go home and be with your kids, which I'm sure he was very much in support of too, you know, like those are his children as well. So to hear that whole story and how it happened, That's really inspirational. I think we need more of that out in the world. Be like, it's okay. You can do both. You can still pursue your passion and you can still be a wonderful mother. Like, you can do both. You can be home and you can support your husband or your partner in whatever situation somebody has. Like, you can also support them to be the support, to be the head of the household or whatever that needs to be. So yeah, I'm so grateful you brought that up because a lot of it has been brought to my attention as well. Like, in my 20s, I was just so like, I need to drive, I need to succeed, I need to prove myself, I need to get the titles, I need to have the degrees, like blah, blah, blah. And now I'm just like, man, I don't know anymore. I don't know if this is what I want. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it's what I want because I deeply know that it's not what our earth needs.
Right.
Not, yeah. But I mean, thank you for all of that. And like, yes. I am very lucky and grateful for my husband, Luke, and for their partnership that we have. It's not easy and it's been challenging to manage this dynamic because every day is different and we're managing balance. And I know not everybody has the work relationship also to have that flexibility, but I do think that there's this incredible opportunity that I've had to continue to be involved and to almost continue that mothering role in the organization, but through somebody that really, I don't know, I don't think it would have happened in the way that it has if it wasn't my husband. And it's been really challenging because we have to steal time away. And I'm often like frustrated angry about something that I see that is happening in either the foundation or the company. And I have to steal a moment and say, yo, la, 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 la. But I think that it has really shaped things in a unique way. And that the way that that is playing out in the companies is incredible. Sorry, in the company and in the foundation. Like, it's very, very unique. And perhaps it's happening more as it would happen in a traditional society where it's maybe, the men's out there leading and the woman's like yapping it. That's amazing. I mean, that sounds terrible and it's not always like that, but it's like I have been able to maintain involvement and influence, particularly with that woman's voice and perspective and intuition. And Luke has kept the day-to-day operations running on the times that I've needed to be there with the family. And Luke's a really active dad too, and we'll often kind of give and take, and he'll be with the kids and I'll get involved in work that needs to be done. There's no simple lines there, but when you're working and your relationship as an employee is more formal, there's often not those dynamics there, but maybe those are ways that we can reshape the way that we work. And I know that we are moving in that direction, but yeah, when we're exactly the boss babe and you've worked your way up and your job requires you to be there 80 hours a week, that doesn't work. There's just like, my being a parent is a full-time job. So if we respect the wisdom, the intuition, the influence that women can have in the workplace, we need to figure out them not actually being involved